now, right now. Right 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 now, right now. Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. They always have been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the Vietnam War. The government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we have quite a lot to talk about. It has been an exceptionally bullish 24 hours for everything and everyone across the board here in the cryptocurrency space. You know, there are different meetings that you can go to as business owners where you get a bunch of business owners in the same room, and C12 is one of them. You've probably heard of a bunch of these different clubs where you get in a room and you share about your business journey with other businessmen and women, and you kind of grow together. And one of the things that you typically do when you start one of those meetings, or when you start a level 10 meeting, or whatever kind of business meeting it is that you're in, is a lot of times you start by setting the tone with a praise report. You start saying, look, this happened. In fact, one of the churches that we've been visiting, whenever they start the service, the pastor, Joel, he looks around, he says, everybody, what are you thankful for? You. And you'll just have like 50 people saying, I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that. Well, today we're going to start off today's stream by me sharing with you the things that I am thankful are happening with the channel and with the cryptocurrency market, because it has been a very, very good 24 hours. Hashtag FinSoft Friday. Let's see it in chat. If you are new here, my name is Crypto Jeb, otherwise known as Jeb McAfee, IRL. And I've been doing technical analysis on the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets for over 6 years now. I've been an investor in crypto for over half a decade. I've been doing YouTube for nearly 10 years now. And I love what I do. And I love sharing with you guys the charts, the fundamentals, the technicals, helping you come to a better understanding of where crypto is going. And I want to help you guys be prepared for that next coming bull market. Awesome. Let's go ahead and read some chat. And then we're going to jump into some of those exciting things that are happening in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We've got our 150 people in chat already. Make sure to hit that like button if you have not already. We've got Sean O'Brien coming in first, saying, hey, we got Happy Mac coming in first. Fino is in chat. Christopher. I forget. Is it Christopher or Christopher? For some reason, I feel like it was Christopher. In fact, if I, wait a minute. Wait a second. I gotta like zoom in here like IRL. It is Cryptopher, I think. Christopher. I think it is because it's a gopher on your profile picture. That's right. Theo Panka is in chat. Sifu Lee is in chat. Thomas Post said, morning, fam. My business is moving into its new offices today. You know, there's been an evolution of phrases like fam and dabbing and all this stuff. It goes from being really hip and trendy with the 13-year-olds, and then you've got the older teenagers that are ironically making fun of it, and then they accidentally adopt it, and then all of a sudden the entire culture is using phrases like that. Hawaii is in chat. The entire state of Hawaii is in chat. So shout out to the few million people in Hawaii that are watching right now. Ray Rodriguez is in chat. Philly Skills 1428, longtime supporter, is in chat. Antonio Ladson's in chat. Let's see if I can get this. Siotha. Atos said, hello, darkness, my old friend. Somebody's been listening to Simon and Garfunkel. John Stoley 1 is in chat. Thomas Post, Crypto Mini Bike. Schmedley B is in chat. Good to see you. Adam, Falco, Josh Hobbs. There's so many people in chat. It's almost hard to read all of your names, but I like doing that. Nigel Carley says, what does Lux Algo say for the likeliness of a juicy short? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Lux Algo is absolutely on the mind today. Alex Nibo's in chat. Mario's in chat. Petro's in chat. Tim Finney is in chat. Ryan Donald is in chat. Crypto Mini Bike said, pack of the car, getting ready to head to my new off-grid cabin. Shout out to you, Crypto Mini Bike. That is an absolutely awesome project. If you guys join the Discord server, I'm sure Crypto Mini Bike would be happy to share with you some of the cool things that he's working on. He shared some of it over there. Uptober, let's go. Now, first and foremost, even before we get into the chart, and we're going to be talking about that today, I just wanted to share something that is really exciting to me because I don't know if you've noticed, we've adopted a relatively new content strategy where I'm doing a stream, a video, and a short every single day. And that is a schedule that I have not maintained since I had a team of well over 10 people helping me. So I am pulled in a lot of directions making that work, but I'm excited because it is working for the channel. As you can see right here, I've got a page up in YouTube Studio. You can see that in the last 48 hours, the channel has received almost, and here in just a second because people are tuning into the stream, over 30,000 views. It has been over a year, and we just passed over 30,000 views because several more of you guys just joined the stream. It has been over a year since we've seen that kind of viewership in the span of 48 hours, and it's because we're putting out more content, it's because crypto's doing well, and it's because you guys are so loyal and faithful, and I'm just really excited about where the channel's going. So there you go. There's praise report. Appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Now, let's go ahead and jump on over to the other thing that is exciting today, and one of the news events that I believe led this rally, which we're going to discuss in just a minute. SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, drops lawsuit against Ripple executives. I wish I had one of my microphones so I could just... Nice. All charges dismissed. Ripple calls it a surrender by SEC. Not going to read too much in here. I'll just go ahead and tell you about it. Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, the co-founders of Ripple, are calling this a massive win today because the Securities and Exchange Commission has been after Ripple Labs, the company that created XRP for a very long time, because of the way that they originally distributed the XRP token. The XRP token was distributed in such a way that the SEC alleged that it was, in fact, a security. And the fact that that case went on for so many years, and then they essentially got their butt handed to them on a silver platter. I'm talking about the SEC here on, was it July 15th, I think it was, when that case was settled, was a very big win for Ripple. But it was almost a little bit of a half win because there were about 4 charges and Ripple only kind of won 3 of them. There was one charge where the SEC alleged that it was a securities offering when Ripple offered XRP tokens to more or less what they called sophisticated investors. So you're talking about people that are they're big enough to be accredited investors. You're talking about people well over $1 million in net worth. You're talking about executives in other companies. And the SEC more or less alleged, and the court kind of seemed to agree with them, it needed to go to further trial, that XRP's executives, Chris, again, Larson and Garlinghouse, were guilty of a unregistered securities offering in that case. And so that was going to go to further trial. That has now been dropped. So there was only one part of the case that XRP was at any danger of losing, and that just dissolved. The case against XRP for 3.5 years has been the darling of the Securities and Exchange Commission, saying, look, we're getting a handle on this wild cryptocurrency industry. We're going to bring this thing under our control. We're going to put crypto back in its place. And essentially, the idea that the Securities and Exchange Commission had was that if they can win the XRP case, it will set legal precedent and it'll allow them to win all of their future cases. And Gary Gensler has come out and talked about it in that language many times. The idea that, okay, they're going to go against XRP, against Ripple, excuse me. They're going to win that case, and that's going to give them the legal precedent to pursue all of these other cryptocurrencies that they allege are securities. And you remember when they came out against Coinbase and Binance, there were dozens of cryptocurrencies that were listed as securities. In fact, we can see if it's still here, but at one point, CoinMarketCap had SEC alleged securities on here. I don't know if it is anymore. I don't know if they have that listing anymore, but they had a list here of all of them on CoinMarketCap. It looks like they may have gotten rid of it. But nevertheless, there were, oh, wait, here we go. SEC security tokens. So these are all the tokens that the SEC has alleged are securities in official documentation in the lawsuits against Binance and Coinbase. BNB, Solana, Cardano, Tron, Polygon, Cosmos, Filecoin, ICP, Near Protocol, Algorand, Sandbox, Axie Infinity, Decentraland. These are not nothing cryptos. These are serious cryptocurrency projects. Chiliz, Flow, BitTorrent, Terra Classic. You know, you can throw this one out with the bathwater. Power Ledger, FTX token. Duh. I don't know if it's a security or not, but it definitely kind of looks like one. I cannot believe anybody's still holding FTT token, FTX token. Who are you? Like, do you think it's going to go back up? OMG Network, AMP, Cody, Voyager, LCT, Rally, etc. There's a few more. The point is, their case against every single one of those altcoins just kind of went up in smoke. Because even the SEC would say that they had one of the strongest cases against XRP because it was such a large project, because there was a very strong, organized, central... Tom Crown's in chat. Shout out to Tom Crown. There was a very large central company, Ripple Labs, behind it that was building a real product, and they sold XRP to raise funds to build that project. It was, if you were going to make the case that anything in crypto is a security, XRP is kind of it. And so the fact that they lost that case in July and the fact that they've dropped the final charges really is a surrender by the SEC. And so I do believe that that is one of the major reasons that we've gone through such a major rally. Tom Crown dropping some love in chat, said, "We love Jeb." Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate you, my friend. If you guys are not subscribed to Tom Crown, you should go and check him out. He and I have been friends for a very long time. And we're hoping to be able to find some way to do some kind of collaboration. I'm working really hard to make sure I'm getting all of this content out right now because I'm trying to upload over 15 videos a week right now. But if you're not already, make sure to go check out Tom Crown. He's on his way to 100K. You guys could help him get there. He's got almost 1,000 videos on his channel. Go get him to 100,000 subscribers. Help him get a play button. Tom, Tom, you need one of these, buddy. This thing, it'll change your life. Not really. It's just a piece of metal, but it's really cool. And I think that if you put your mind to it and everybody works with us, you can get there. You can get there. I've actually got the letter that Susan Wojcicki sends you hanging up on the wall right there behind the camera. You'll get there, especially in the bull market. Go subscribe to Tom. All right, let's jump onto the chart. Bitcoin has been doing very well. Has been doing very, very well over the last 24 hours. We're very excited for Bitcoin, and we're very excited for the technical analysis that we were able to do yesterday that predicted that this was going to happen. Now, look, I don't want to sit here and get super prideful and pat myself on the back and say, look at this, we called it. I don't want to be prideful in that, but I do want to just share with you guys that the analysis that we were able to do yesterday, I want to share this humbly, but I do also want to state it because I think it's important. The analysis that we were able to do yesterday, we predicted that we would have a breakout. In the video and in the stream, we talked about all of the different reasons why I believed, well, some more so in the video, more so in the stream, because the video was more on longer term things. I was climate of crypto. But in the stream, we talked about all the different reasons in the short term why we are going to see a breakout to the upside. And I want to go ahead and recap some of those right now. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure I have YouTube up on my phone because I've not been able to put that monitor up just yet to make sure I don't make the same mistake I did the last 2 streams of running the intro when I'm supposed to be talking on Facecam. So, there we go. Just going to go ahead and pull that up so I can watch the feed over there. Tom Crown said, soon. There we go. You're going to get it, buddy. I didn't know you were at 83. I remember when you were at 50. You're still growing. That's good. As far as you not still are growing. You are growing. That's good. All right. So the reasons that we believe that Bitcoin was going to be able to go through a rally was because of the reason I said still is because we're in the bear market and most people aren't growing. So shout out to you, Tom, for being one of the few that seems to be. We have a bullish cross right here on MACD, and we also had RSI breaking above 50, breaking above the 14 interval moving average, and those were exciting factors that were pointing in the direction of bullishness. Not long thereafter, and this is pretty much right at the time of yesterday's live stream, we saw a buy signal come into Bitcoin, and I told you guys that if you wanted to be risky, you could go into a long trade below this level at 29,000. If you wanted to be aggressive, if you wanted to be more conservative, you could wait until we broke above that level at 29,000 and then go into a trade. If you had have done the more risky trade because we hadn't broken above the resistance yet, then at grand total, you would have been up 5%. By the time you realized it was the top, you probably would have been up 4% on 5x levers. That could easily be a 20 to 25% gain. Pretty solid. If you took the more conservative trade, you would have had a much better risk to reward ratio, and you still would have gotten about a 3% return. So those are the trades that we talked about yesterday, and they ended up working out very well. And the reason that we could do that is because we had enough confidence in Lux Algo and enough confidence in MACD, enough confidence in RSI, enough confidence in the 20 exponential moving average, which, as you can see here, Bitcoin had broken above. And it was holding support on. It was holding fast support on. And we had enough confidence in this symmetrical triangle pattern right here that developed after the stream was over. There's enough confidence in all of these patterns and in the volume, by the way, because the volume was starting to increase. So we saw there was something real going on. We had enough confidence not to know for certain that Bitcoin was going to break bullish, but to know with enough confidence that it was a good place to consider a trade. One of the things that's going to hold you back in trading is thinking that you need to have a guarantee. There are no guarantees. None whatsoever. There are no guarantees. It is very possible that the Bitcoin ETF announces and the market crashes 2 minutes later, $5,000. That can happen. And things like that have occurred before. There are absolutely no guarantees in Bitcoin, and it will paralyze you with paralysis of analysis if you stand there and you wait for a guarantee before you enter into a trade. You have to understand that every single movement you take, not only in trading, but also in life, is a gamble. When you drive to work, or when you get on a plane, or when you walk down the road, when you eat food, there's a chance that something could go wrong, right? You get in a car accident, plane could crash, you get hit by a car, you could choke. You've got to realize that there's a gamble with everything that you do. And so the thing that we want to do is, in our mind, every day we're thinking, is this risk versus reward worth it? Is it worth it for me, as my father would say, to jump out of a perfectly good airplane with a parachute on because I want to go skydiving? Maybe it is for you. Maybe you're an adrenaline junkie. Maybe you want to do that. I want to do that. Again, as my father said, it is not a sane mind that jumps out of a perfectly good aircraft. I guess I'm not saying, because I would love to do that one day. But nevertheless, you got to weigh that in your life. And that's an extreme example, but it's the same thing in trading. People think that trading is so much different than life, but it really isn't. We just don't think about the risk because luckily in our world, it's so unlikely that a lion's going to jump out of the woods and bite you. But things still can happen. So you have to look at everything through the lens of risk versus reward. The reward was great. We were likely going to see a rally up to this high. I'll show you why. There's an uptrending level of resistance here that Bitcoin has tested 4 times, and we expected that Bitcoin breaking bullish would send it back to that level. That's exactly what happened. So the reward was pretty good. There's a lot of pent-up enthusiasm. We knew, as I talked about all week, we knew that there were thin order books up here, so Bitcoin would be able to rally above 29 all the way up to 30 very easily. We were pretty confident in that. At the same time, we also knew that there was enough dry powder on the side to send us to 35 because it happened on fake news in 8 minutes earlier in the week on Monday when Cointelegraph, realized that there was an intern they needed to fire or a program or a process that needed to be rewritten or whatever. So we knew that there was money on the side. So the reward was good. The risk was higher here, much lower here. It's a great time to enter a trade. This right here, this is more risky. Take this trade if you really know what you're doing and you're willing to lose some money. This trade right here was phenomenal. This is a great trade setup. It was about 11 p.m. yet last night. And so we had every reason to believe that it was going to break to the upside, and that's what I shared with you yesterday. And the thing I also want to shine a light on here is Algo. Algo gave us a confirmed buy signal, and it gave us the take profit. And you can see that take profit worked like a charm. It gave us a take profit zone between 30,000, and it gave us a zone between 30,000 and 30,400. This absolutely nailed it. And if you guys do not have Algo, as you can see, you are missing out. Using coupon code JEB30, JEBB30 for 30% off at checkout. And by signing up for the annual plan, which will save you another 40%, you will save 70% on Algo. And you will get Algo for, gosh, what is it? Less than $300, I think? About $350 maybe? For a year. And if you make one trade with that is profitable, and you're doing this with, a considerable amount of money, and you're actually doing this, full time, it's going to help you make money. I mean, here, I'll show you. You apply JEB30 at checkout for the annual plan. It'll be $342.99. If you make one trade in a year, a little bit of leverage, conservative amount of leverage, always use your stop losses, never get liquidated, never a reason to get liquidated. You do all those things, you will be able to pay for Algo and more. It's an investment. And by the way, if you are a professional trader and it's your full-time job, that's a tax write-off, right? At least I think it is. Check with the CPA before you write it off, but I think it would be a tax write-off because it's a tool for your job, which is your trading. If you're making any kind of money every month with your trading, that's a business endeavor. And if you buy something for the purposes of that business endeavor, you should be able to write it off on taxes. So make sure that you look into that. So what do we do from here? Where do we go from here? We've got so much good news. We've got the channels doing really well. I'm very excited about that. You guys are having a great time. I'm really excited about that. I just, on a personal note, I feel like I'm growing a lot in my understanding of how to run the channel. And I've got this 6-year track record on YouTube that I can look back and say, okay, I did that right, did that wrong, did that right, did that wrong. Man, I really messed up there. Wow, that really worked very well. I'm thinking, okay, cool. I know what to do for the next year, and I know how to absolutely knock it out of the park and help you guys to grow in your financial sovereignty. We've got the SEC drop their case, which no doubt helped this situation. That news broke about 16 hours ago, a little bit before this movement. I think it did, actually. And also, of course, we've got the breakout. So what happens from here? Well, let's look at a couple of different factors that are playing in here. Let's look at the Dixie. Let's look at the SPY. Dixie's been on a general downtrend, which is a generally good thing for Bitcoin. Dixie, of course, is a market that is highly impacted by United States Federal Reserve policy. The Fed is likely to go through one more rate hike, and then from there, they're going to pause. And honestly, it's not even so... people are not even so confident, and I'm not even so confident, that they're going to go through another rate hike. In fact, if I remember correctly, the FedWatch tool over on CME is giving it a is giving it an even lower prediction than they originally were, that we were going to see a hike at all. It's in 12 days. Look here what they're saying. Oh, no, actually, okay, so they changed it again. They are anticipating... No, actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. They are anticipating with a 98% likelihood that there will not be another rate hike. So when the rates are not hiking like that, it does kind of slow down the Dixie, because the Dixie is largely respondent to a couple of different factors, mainly the balance sheet and the Fed rates, and also a smattering of other macroeconomic forces. But the fact that we want to consider here is that the Dixie's pausing for now and very well may go through a correction. It's really hard to tell, though, because, I could sit here for half an hour and have a conversation with you about geopolitics and where I think the currency markets are going to go. But for the time being, Dixie's moving sideways, down slightly. I think that trend will continue. That's the most I'm going to say on it for right now, because it's so difficult to predict what the Dixie's going to do, because it's impacted by so many things. One thing that's not quite as hard to predict is the stock market. And interestingly enough, the stock market's actually going through a major crash right now as Bitcoin's doing well. Good news, bad news. Bad news is stock market dropping is bad for Bitcoin. Good news, Bitcoin is rallying despite the stock market dropping, indicating that it has some homegrown strength in it that cannot be ignored. Now, if we redraw this trend line to make it a little bit more accurate, then you can see that the S&P 500, the SPY anyway, is still sitting upon support. And so that's wonderful. It's a double bottom forming down here. RSI is not giving us any divergence. But of course, we are getting pretty low on RSI down here on the 4-hourly chart. Daily chart, we've got a bearish cross. So it's possible the stock market goes through a pretty large correction here. Part of the reason for that is because of the efforts of the Fed. The aggressive rate hiking that we saw about a year ago is really starting to have a major impact on the economy. If you'll remember, supply chains... Let me back up and teach you a little bit about economics. The more complicated an economy is, the longer the time horizon for investment becomes possible. So, for example, a good analogy that's used to taught this in economics classes is fishing. Pretty much every economy in the modern world that's not landlocked has fishing as part of its economy. If you have a very simple economy and you have the majority of the populace trying to figure out how to make enough food to survive the next few days, then each individual fisherman doesn't have the kind of money to save up for 5 or 10 years for this giant trawler and 50 crew members on the ship and $2-3 million in annual operating expenses. They don't have the time horizon to be able to make that kind of investment and spend 5 years saving to get it started and another 5 to 10 years to pay it off. They don't have that kind of time to do that. The best that they can do is say, all right, I can work with my 2 friends here and we can make a little fishing boat. We can go out on the lake, or we can go out on the near coast, near the ocean, near the shore, and we can fish. And we'll spend 3 days making the boat, and we'll make enough fish to sell on market. We'll pay the boat back in a week, and then we'll make enough fish to pay for today, and then we'll go out tomorrow. We'll make enough fish for that day, and there you go. The more advanced an economy becomes, the longer the time horizon becomes between initial decision to make an investment to 2 points. Number one, there's 3 points in this. Number one, you have the initial decision to make an investment. Number two, you have when that investment starts making money, and then normally investments take on debt. So number 3 of the third point, which is when you hit break even and you're making enough money to pay off the debt, and then you're debt free and you're able to continue with that investment. A nuclear power plant is another good example of this. You don't see nuclear power plants built in developing countries unless they are being built with foreign investment. And the reason for that is because a nuclear power plant can take between 10 and 20 years to break even. You heard that right. It will be in the loss for between 10 and 20 years. So you have to have a very advanced, stable, consistently growing economy to build out those kind of long-term supply chains and investment chains. And so the United States, being one of the most advanced economies in the modern world, in fact, it is the most advanced economy in the modern world, interfaces quite a lot with advanced supply chains where you might have a raw resource input or an investment decision made, and you might not see anything coming of that for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Again, in the extreme cases, maybe 10 or 20 years, like in nuclear power plants. It's one of the reasons you don't build a lot of nuclear power plants in the United States. And so when you see the Fed hiking rates a year ago, it takes time for the impact of those rates to trickle through the supply chain. It's been a year now since the last 75 basis point rate hike. I believe it was in November of last year. And so we're really starting to see the impact of those rate hikes. Over the course of the next year, we're going to really start to see the impacts of the 5 rate hikes, of the rate hikes up to 5%. And Jerome Powell spoke on this yesterday at a symposium kind of thing. He had an interview. I was listening to it I was listening to it, and he spoke about how the United States economy is showing a lot of resilience, but in hindsight, first of all, he's not even sure that the Fed needed to take on as much quantitative easing as it had. In hindsight, it might not have been the case, but at the time, he's saying they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if the government was going to leave the country shut down for 18 months. They didn't know how many millions of people were going to be lost as a result of this. So everybody kind of reacted as strongly as they could have, and that may have led to more inflation than was necessary. But he also talked about how the Fed over the last year, again, this is Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, they moved very aggressively to get rates where they needed to be, and then they've moved much more slowly this year to creep them up to about 5, and it hasn't seemed to hurt the economy too much. They've been able to, at least nominally, at least according to the data. Now, it feels like it hurts because if you go to Hitchcock's, like I said yesterday, you got to spend $14 on 4 sticks of butter. You want to talk about inflation not being in existence, go to any grocery store and you'll know that that's a lie. But regardless, the data that the Fed is making decisions based off of is what the BLS is reporting, even if the BLS is BL wrong. But to wrap this point into a bow, Jerome Powell is essentially pointing out that it takes time for the Federal Reserve's decisions to trickle through the economy. And then when the Federal Reserve's decisions are trickling through the economy, they have to stand by and look at incoming data. And the incoming data right now is that we are starting to see a little bit of fluctuation in the economy. We are starting to see a little bit of instability, but for the most part, the country's been able to take this. And so it is very possible that they could hike rates longer. It's very possible that they could end up leaving rates higher for longer because the supply side is so strong. The demand is strong, but the supply side is so strong. The economy came roaring back to life after the pandemic. And so with all of that in mind, it would not be surprising at all to see the Dixie continue sideways. And it would not be surprising really at all either to see the stock market drop briefly, but then go into a rally. I think that the stock market may have a difficult time over the next year as the economy really starts to feel the brunt of the Fed's decisions, and they really start to take effect. As I said, again, some of these decisions take 12, 18 months to move through the economy. Another thing that's interesting, a side point that Jerome Powell said yesterday, is that businesses had not been taking on quite as much debt, and also the majority of Americans are locked into a current mortgage and they're not moving. So the interest rate tool, the mechanism, the effective federal funds rate that the Fed has might not be as effective right now as it normally would be. So that's a side point that might be interesting to you if you follow macroeconomics. But again, based on my assessment, based on what Jerome Powell is saying, based on the economic data that I'm looking at, based on markets, I'm expecting that the stock market may have a little bit of trouble over the next 6 to 12 months as the economy really starts to feel some of those rate hikes, and we start to see that those rate hike decisions moving into the economy over the next 6 to 12 months. From there, though, the Fed is probably going to peak rates below 6% anyway. They might even be done. And if they do that, and they're able to get inflation back down to target 2, which is very possible, then at that point, you may start to see the stock market go into a bull market and into a rally in late 2024, which would line up perfectly with the bull market on Bitcoin. If stocks trade sideways for the first half of 2024, and then by that time, the economy is completely adjusted to 5.25, it's the new normal, and so the economy is growing in that, then you start seeing growth. And then the Fed very well may leave rates up there, or the Fed very well may drop the rates, but they probably wouldn't increase them if the economy is doing well and inflation's under control. So if they leave the rates the same, then the stock market will grow steadily. If they drop the rates, the stock market will grow parabolically. And so a couple of takeaways from this. Number one, if you are not invested in the stock market, you should be. I'm a cryptocurrency YouTuber. My goal in life, what I come to work to do every day, is not just to teach you crypto. It is to teach you how to grow your wealth. Crypto is one of the main ways that I do that, but it's my job to help you become financially sovereign. That means being a good steward of your money, being in control of it, lest it control you, getting rid of your debt, making good investments, making good personal financial decisions, growing the net worth of your family. And one of the things that I would highly recommend considering right now is getting into stocks if you're not already. Get a Roth IRA, Fidelity, Robinhood, Vanguard, I don't care who with. Go to whoever is, trustworthy. Max out your Roth IRA. It's about $560 a month, something to do that. $6,500 a year unless you're over the age of 55, and that's $7,500 a year. Max out your Roth IRA because stock market is going to do very well in the next 3 to 5 years. And that is your safety net. That is the thing that's going to secure your retirement. Then after you've got that baseline, and you don't even have to max that out, but then go put some money in crypto. And that's where you're going to really dive in and say, okay, trading stocks, you can make some money doing that, but you're going to make more money trading crypto. I'm going to learn how to trade in crypto. I'm going to invest in the right projects in crypto. I'm going to pick a moon bag or two. I'm going to see if I can make some money. Got your stock market portfolio over here to grow your wealth over time in a sustainable way because the you know, the tortoise beats the tortoise beats the hare because slow and steady wins the race. You're going to do that. That's going to be great. You've got that backbone. I wish I had done that earlier. I started maxing out my Roth IRA this year. I should have done it 5 years ago. I would have, you know, significantly more money in there than I do right now. I've got money in other places, but I should have done that. And then you put money in crypto as well. And then you pay off debt as well. You do those 3 things. Buy crypto, buy stocks, get rid of consumer debt, and then slowly work on the home debt. Do all those things, you're going to build wealth. You're going to be better off now than you were then. So stocks, trading sideways a little bit for the next 6 to 12 months. Towards the tail end of next year, I think they're going to end up performing very well. And that'll be in correspondence with Bitcoin performing very well because a bull market is coming. Now, as for our prediction, again, I've been looking at this prediction over and over and over all year. Is Bitcoin going to 35 to 50 by the end of the year? I predicted that in March. And I remember when I made the prediction in March, I also said, look, it may take until the end of quarter 1. But somewhere between the end of the year and quarter 1, so between 9 and 12 months from when I made that prediction, I believe Bitcoin will be trading between $35,000 and $50,000. And I do believe that's coming. How does this recent movement play into that? Well, if we look at this recent movement, Bitcoin has made a higher high. We have made 5 consecutive higher highs ever since the 8th of September. For 45 days now, Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. We've been making higher highs and higher lows. If you were invested down at 25,000, you're very happy right now. If you're not invested yet, you probably still should be very happy because it's likely that Bitcoin's not done. Now, the bad news that you don't want to hear, but I have to be honest with you because my goal is not to coddle you. My goal is to grow you. And sometimes I have to tell you something that you might not want to hear to reach that goal. The truth of the matter is that Bitcoin has gone parabolic ever since 5 days ago on Sunday. We've rallied 12% in 4 days, 5 days. That is an unsustainable pace. Bitcoin's not going to keep that up forever. It's going to pause at some point. The question is, will Bitcoin pause later and first rally to 32 or 33? Or will it pause now? I will encourage you that I will challenge you even, if you're going into a long right now with bets that's going to go even higher that quickly, the higher you enter above this level at 27, the more risk that you're taking on your risk to reward calculus. And so you need to find entries with better, tighter stop losses, better, larger reward potential. Because quite frankly, it's just not very clear that Bitcoin's going to continue just rallying parabolically from here. If we see more bullish news, great. It could happen. Bitcoin is above 28,560 or whatever exactly the number is, 28,560, somewhere right around there. This is a hugely important level. It was bottom here, it was top here, it was top here. Going back to 2 years ago, it was originally, we found it as support here in the bear market, and then Luna crashes through the floor. So funny that Luna's named after the moon, and we went to the exact opposite. Bitcoin bottomed out there originally back here in June of 2020, and also January of 2021. Sorry, January and June of 2021. So that level is very important. I do call it the top of the transitionary zone. If you're above that, I'm pretty much saying that you're in bull market territory, pre-halving phase of the bull market. Again, that is hearkening back to this chart. This kind of gray zone right here is the, or this red zone right here. Just kind of delete this for a second. This red zone right in here is the pre-halving phase of the is the transitionary zone. After that, I call that the pre-halving phase of the bull market. And so we have seen that Bitcoin has broken above 28.5. That gives me quite a lot of confidence that the near future is bright for Bitcoin. The longer-term charts also validate that. If you look at the longer-term charts out here on the daily chart, we've got a buy signal on MACD. We've got RSI jumping up to 70. These are all great signs. Bitcoin is obviously in very bullish territory. The question becomes, how far does this rally go before we have some kind of correction? Are we just going to straight moonshot? Not quite sure if that's going to happen. It could. We could be at 35 next week. Or are we going to kind of have a slow, gradual rally where we maybe drop down to 28.6? There's so much hype. There's so much enthusiasm in Bitcoin. Don't believe me? Just watch these 3 rallies. Bitcoin has so much pent-up exuberance. It's just waiting for the Fed to take its foot off the brake of the economy. It's waiting for the SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, to find a new job and to get replaced. And Bitcoin's going to moonshot. And so we should not underestimate Bitcoin's moonshot potential. We could be going into the 4th major moonshot of this year. And these are truly moonshots. These are $7,000 to $10,000 rallies back here that we're looking at. $7,000 to $9,000 rallies, $6,000 to $9,000 rallies. We're going to want to watch this closely. It is very possible that Bitcoin breaks strongly to the upside here. And the longer term charts, as we talked about in yesterday's video, are looking better than ever. What's your takeaway here? First things first, weekly chart. Looking insanely bullish. About to be a MACD cross bullish. About to be RSI just broke 14 and bounced off of the 50. It's not a bad idea to try and go into a swing trade that might have a time horizon of 6 to 8 weeks. Next 24 hours, I would be expecting a small correction, or, and this is going to sound weird, you're going to say, Jeb, well, just pick a side. But you'll notice that there's something I'm leaving out. I am expecting either a small correction down to about 28.6, so about $1,000, or Bitcoin's probably going to rally straight to 32. Those are our two scenarios. The scenario that the technicals point out, based on the hourly chart, is that Bitcoin has hit its high. It's hit the take profit. Now we're going to, take profit. It's going to drop. It's going to fall below the interval moving average, below the trend catcher. We're going to have a RSI dropping into the zero level. We got MACD breaking bearish. The technicals show that we should be expecting a correction. Again, markets are cyclical. You go up sometimes, you go down sometimes. Now it's time to go down on the hourly chart. Now it's time to go up on the weekly chart, but now it's time to go down on the hourly chart. But don't forget that hype that is in the background for Bitcoin. And also don't forget that, as Charlie Lee said, not Charlie Lee, Thomas Lee, not Charlie Lee. As Thomas Lee said 6 years ago, and I think this is still accurate, I'd have to check. But pretty much every year in Bitcoin's history, if you take out the 10 biggest green days, then the market is down every single year. Don't underestimate the possibility of a huge, huge, huge green candlestick coming out of absolutely nowhere. Let's read some chat. What percentage of portfolio should be in crypto? That entirely depends on your perspective. I highly recommend a certain strategy that I'll try and run through in 60 seconds. You know what? I'm going to do a challenge for myself. I'm going to see if I can explain everything that you needed to start doing today in personal finance in under 60 seconds. Let's see. All right, first things you need to do, I hit the timer. You need to figure out how much money you're making every single month. Then you need to subtract all of your fixed expenses. Those are your groceries, any minimum payments on debt, your housing expenses if you got a preschool, whatever. Subtract your your income from your fixed expenses. You're left with your discretionary budget. Your discretionary budget, you're going to break up into 3 categories. Number 1, your generosity budget. You're always going to be giving money to somebody, so make sure it's budgeted so it's not throwing off your budget. You got your wealth building fund. That's going to be paying off debt, making investments, and then you got your needs. A lot of times you're going to want your investment to be the largest, your wants, not your needs, your wants. You want that to be your second largest, your generosity to be your third largest until you become much more wealthy, and the generosity is the main one. In that wealth building fund, pay off all of your consumer debt, make investments in the stock market, and then also make investments in crypto. Investments in the stock market are your foundational backbone that is going to ensure that you're building wealth over the course of the next 20 to 30 years. Your investments in cryptocurrency and your trading in cryptocurrency is a strategy that you can use to make a lot more wealth based on your skill, not just based on time in the market. Boom, that was 55 seconds. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If you do those things and you run that forward 10 years and you really have your heart in it and you are consistently growing, you will become more wealthy. Guaranteed. We've got a couple of videos on financial sovereignty on the channel. You can go watch that. There's a playlist called FinSov. And I teach you guys some of the principles that you need to go through to build wealth in the long run. If you're enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Great question. So how much should be in crypto? To actually answer the question, because I kind of answered it with a theory. To answer the question, how much should be in crypto, that depends on you. If you are just going to invest and you're not going to be trading and you're not going to be sitting here all day trying to figure out what the next altcoin is that's going to rally, then I would say put the majority of it in the stocks, because stocks are going to make you money. And by stocks, just so you know what to buy, I'm literally just saying buy the S&P 500. That's it. Just buy the S&P 500. Just dump $6,500 a month through your Roth IRA into the S&P 500. Take all the employer match first before you invest in the Roth IRA. If you got a 401k plan at your company, take that and buy stocks. If you are not ever going to look at your investments, buy stocks, buy some Bitcoin. That's it. Don't touch the rest of the cryptocurrencies if you're not going to be paying attention to them every day, or at least every week. If you're not going to pay attention at all, buy the stock market as far as the SPY and buy Bitcoin and put the majority of it in the stock market, because the cryptocurrency market is vastly more volatile and it takes more attention. If you're watching a live stream here in crypto every single day, you're probably watching the market every single day. So sure, do some more stuff with the altcoins, do it. But in the same way, I would not encourage somebody to buy a penny stock and not pay attention to it for 10 years. I wouldn't encourage you to buy a altcoin and not pay attention to it. The only thing in crypto that you could buy and then not really pay much attention to is Bitcoin, and I still wouldn't recommend that. You need to be paying attention to the things that you're invested in. But if we're talking realistically, and you just know, realistically, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to look at it once every 6 months, stay out of the altcoins, buy the S&P 500 through a Roth IRA, Fidelity, Vanguard, Robinhood, whatever. I use Fidelity, but regardless, doesn't matter. Buy the stock market as far as the market. I say the market, I mean the S&P 500. Don't touch the growth funds. You can do all those things if you're actually going to pay attention to it. Buy the market. Then maybe buy some Bitcoin. And again, these are all just ideas. These are all just ways that I am pretty confident that you can grow wealth, but it is not a bad idea to speak to a professional financial advisor, because I am not a professional financial advisor. I've thought about getting my certification to be a professional financial advisor so that I don't have to say not financial advice, and I can literally give you financial advice. Because if I was able to give financial advice, I know what I would say. The issue is, if you actually become a financial advisor, there's a lot of things that you can't say publicly. And I pretty much would have to shut down the channel, because pretty much everything I do on the channel right now, I would not be allowed to do if I had a license for financial advisement. Because believe me, I have thought about it. I've looked into it. I know how to become a financial advisor. I have consciously chosen not to. All right. Let's see. Coinbase will be dropped also very soon. Really? That's interesting. That would be very bullish. That'd be very bullish. That would be a full-on retreat. Crypto Surge said, nice to hear the good news with your channel. Thank you. I'm really excited about it, guys. Look, I love what I do, and I love seeing the numbers go up. I love watching you guys succeed with me. And look, the other thing is, you've probably noticed a lot of the crypto YouTubers are kind of plateaued or even dropping in subscribers. What's going on there is you're seeing so many accounts getting deleted. If I go into the analytics here, I don't even know where to find it, so I can't just show it very easily. Let's see. Yeah, I can't show it very easily. But if you go into the analytics and you look at the subscriber tab, I'm trying to find it. You see most of the people that are unsubscribing from channels and causing a lot of the crypto channels to go down in subscribers. You've seen that across the board in a lot of places, even on our channel. They're mostly closed accounts or accounts that YouTube is deeming as spam. So it's kind of hard to tell what the subscriber growth is just by looking at the raw number, because there's a bunch of accounts that are either bots or scam, because YouTube has gotten better at that. And also there's a bunch of people that left the cryptocurrency space. They're not necessarily uninterested in the channel's content. They just are not interested in the industry anymore. So the thing that I've been looking at a lot lately, and that's been encouraging for me, is how many new subscribers we're gaining, even if on the aggregate we're currently losing subscribers. And the thing that's really cool is we're gaining hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of subscribers every single month. We've gained like 400 or 500 subscribers in the last 28 days. And I think that that's going to go up a lot with the content strategy that we're operating right now. Yeah, we've lost 530 subscribers in the last 28 days, but we've gained, we lost 943, but we've gained about, here we go, I might be able to find it right here. But we've gained about 450. Yeah, about 450. There's about 450 new faces here, which is awesome. Because again, like I said, most of the people that are unsubscribing from crypto channels right now are out of crypto because of the bear market, or their accounts are being shut down. I don't know where to find it in YouTube because the analytics are so detailed. But somewhere in there, there's a way you can find it, and it says about half of the unsubscriptions are actually YouTube accounts being deleted because they're inactive. So I just think that's really cool that we've got a lot of new people coming into the channel. And it doesn't really show just on the channel on the aggregate, but in the back end, I can see it right here. Check this out here. I think this is safe to show on. Yeah, I think this is safe to show, this part. I don't think there's anything here that's compromising. See, subscribers last 28 days, plus 352 on the videos, plus 62 from the live stream, plus 14 from the shorts. Returning viewers, we've got a bunch of new people coming in that are returning, and they're new from the videos. The videos have been doing really well. A bunch of views on the videos. Very excited about the new content strategy. Very excited about where the channel's going. And even though oh, and also, look, like I said, the channel is, we're gaining enough subscribers that even, especially over the last several days, see if I can find this. Most people wouldn't show you these analytics on YouTube, but you guys know me. I'm just real with you. I'm just going to say, hey, look, this is what's happening. I'd like to share it. You can see here's the trajectory. Again, because of about half of these are mostly just channels, accounts being closed or people being out of crypto. But in the last several days that we've been making content, it's actually stopped. It's actually flatlined. So we're losing like 40 or some subscribers a day. Again, like about half of those are from just literally YouTube accounts being deleted. But we're getting enough growth now, even in the bear market, that we're able to stop the trend. I'm just very excited about where crypto is going. I'm very excited about where the channel's going. I'm very excited to see you guys in chat. And I do believe with a little bit more work on my end, continuing to make the videos better, continuing with consistency, and some of the decisions I'm making in the back end that are going to help things a lot, we're going to be able to bring you guys a lot of content. And even in the bear market, even with YouTube deleting 20 or 30 of my subscribers every single day, which is a lot. That's like 1,000 a month. I think we're going to be able to turn around and actually grow the channel. And that's so exciting. So exciting for me. All right, let's go ahead and read some chat, and then we will wrap it out. I believe it was Mike Lowry that asked if we could look at XRP. We absolutely can, and we absolutely should, because XRP is obviously doing very well on this news. It's up 7% today in the last 24 hours. Let's take a quick look at XRP, and then we're going to wrap it out from there. XRP obviously went through a major rally following the case victory. The tricky thing here is that it lost all of that value almost instantly. XRP obviously did very well when it had the news come out last night that the SEC had dropped all the charges, about 10% of the upside. So XRP is free and clear of the effects of the court case other than any stain to its reputation that may have received from it. Because obviously the SEC coming against you is going to be defaming. But XRP is on a general uptrend, and that is the exciting thing. And I think in the bull market, so long as Ripple continues building new products that are interesting and exciting for investors, it will do well. There's not much to say short term right now. I don't expect Ripple to go, XRP, to go through a major rally in the bear market. I think it is going to have to wait around for the bull market. But that bull market is coming, and XRP is not a bad investment to get into, to load up your bags before we get started on the bull market. Viewers will be back in the bull market. Just keep putting out this content. Thank you, Ryan Kessler. Yeah, we're going to have a massive resurgence in crypto YouTube. I would not be surprised if during the next bull market, this channel went to over 500,000 subscribers. Might even hit 1 million, because there's going to be millions of people diving headlong into crypto. You thought the last bull market was big. This thing's going to absolutely blow the socks off of that bull market. It's going to be huge. The normal Austin said, keep grinding, Jeb. Thank you. Queen said accumulating. Absolutely. Like I said, most people wouldn't show you those background statistics because technically they're a little bit sad. But again, like I said, I'm just excited about the progress. Look, it's such a temptation in life to get so caught up on, oh man, things aren't where they need to be. Things aren't where they need to be. Oh no, I did this 6 months ago. And believe me, I tell you what, I've made a lot of mistakes in my career building wealth here in cryptocurrency and here in finance. But the thing that we need to focus on is not the mistakes that we made years ago, not even the mistakes that we made just now. Like, we need to think about those things. We need to learn from them. And we need to repent of them. We need to turn from them. We need to do better. But the thing that's important is to focus on the effort and to focus on the progress. It is so important that we focus on progress over profits, because so long as we are growing, the necessary impact of that will be a continual growth in your wealth. If we continue to grow, we will continue to gain in whatever it is that we're doing. Let me just give you an example. If you go in the gym and you've been in the gym for a year and you know what you're doing, but you're not perfect, and you just focus on, I'm going to grow muscle, I'm going to grow muscle, I'm going to grow muscle, everything, and that's why you go to the gym, eventually you're going to get hurt, because you're going to get stronger and your bones don't get stronger. If you just go to the gym and you just focus on growing, you're going to grow. Your bones are not going to get stronger. And if you don't continue to learn about form, eventually your muscles are going to get so much stronger that they're capable of damaging your bones, and you're going to throw your back out, or you're going to, which is kind of what I did. When I started deadlifting, I was deadlifting 225. That's where I started. And within a couple of weeks, I was deadlifting 265. My form was not ready for 265. I still have a little bit of lower back pain from that because I was being an idiot. It's 3 years ago. And your muscles are going to be stronger than your bones. And you're going to hurt yourself because you focused on growing muscle instead of growing your experience and your education about the thing. If instead you go into the gym and you say, look, I'm here today, yes, to grow muscle. Obviously, that's why we're here. But my primary objective is to learn more about bodybuilding, is to learn more about calisthenics, is to learn more about stretching, is to learn more about cardio, whatever. And you're putting the work in, the consistent effort over time. The fact that your mindset is focused on getting better is going to be the thing that will actually lead to far more gains in the future without you getting injured. Same thing on YouTube. If I come on YouTube and I come into crypto and I come into stock market, I come into personal finance, I come into education, whatever it is I'm coming into, and my focus is, oh, I just want to make a bunch of money. That's called greed. My goal here with the channel and your goal with crypto and anything you do should be, I want to see if I can get better at this. And you will end up being rewarded for that monetarily if you are truly good enough and you are truly getting better. And so that's why I love looking back on the last 6 years and saying, man, I made a lot of mistakes, but I have at least consistently been getting a little bit better. and have learned some valuable lessons. I'm excited to be implementing those. I'm excited to be implementing those alongside you. Cryptopher said, love that you're open shows reality. Look, guys, I think authenticity is the only way to get anywhere in life. I don't like hiding behind anything. I don't like giving half-truths. If I'm going to give part of something, I like giving all of it. There are times that things need to be kept private. Don't get me wrong. But even my health, I've shared with you guys on that a little bit. My health has been really messing with me the last 2 years. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if I have some kind of chronic illness or something that I'm not aware of, but I'm sick right now. Just so you guys know, I am sick. I have a head cold, and I feel drained and just, ugh. But I'm here. Look, life doesn't stop just because you're sick, unfortunately. I mean, I wish it was like that. It'd be so, you know how, what's the word for it? How hedonistically pleasurable it would be just to say like, oh, I'm sick. I have a runny nose. I'm going to lay in bed all day. But we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here half of the days because I'm sick like every single week. It sucks. I still don't know why. But I'm growing and I'm learning. And I see that you guys are growing and you guys are learning. That's all you can ask for. Because nobody starts out an expert. Even Jesus had to learn how to walk. He didn't come out of the womb knowing how to do carpentry. Even Christ, the only perfect person in history, had to learn how to do skills, right? I'm talking about sin, I'm talking about skills. So we've got to learn. Mike Lowry said they say don't trust anyone in crypto, but I truly believe we can trust. I truly believe we can believe Jeb. Thanks for what you do, Jeb. Thank you, Mike. Look, like I said, guys, I think the reason that, because you got kids. Yeah, that's probably it, to be honest with you. I think that's a part of it, but I'm not really sure. I still think I shouldn't be sick every week because my son isn't sick every week. I don't know if he's just carrying it and sharing it with me. I don't know. He's just like, oh, I got sick. Hey, Dad, here, have this. Honestly, ask AI. It helped me solve my health issues. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's a cool idea. Come up with an idea and take it to a doctor and say, hey, what do you think about this? That might work. I might try that. Look, like I said, I've not been perfect. I can tell you right now that if we want to sit here for an hour and I want to go over every mistake I've made in YouTube, either moral or skill-wise, I would be here for a while. I've definitely made mistakes, but I think the thing that does help you guys to want to come back is that I will tell you if I've made a mistake that is relevant to you guys, and I will apologize for it. And I have made mistakes. I have made plenty of them. Even in the last year, with what happened with the company and everything, I've made my fair share of mistakes. You guys want to go beat up on everybody else, and that's not what I want. Look, I made mistakes too, and I'm not proud of them. But I am trying to learn. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to do better. And I believe that so long as I maintain that progress over profits mentality, it will help me stay humble, and it will help me to grow you guys and grow myself and my family in the pursuit of financial sovereignty. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And also, if you're interested, sign up for Algo. It is a wonderful technical indicator. It helps to support the channel, helps to support me doing this every day full time. And so if you guys are wanting to support the channel and you've got the extra money, sign up for Algo. If you want to use Algo every single day in your charting, make sure that you sign up for Algo. It is absolutely remarkable. I would not be sharing it if I didn't believe in it. And you have my word on that. I don't care how much money it makes me. I am an affiliate of it. I don't care how much money it makes me. If I didn't believe in it, if I didn't think it was good, I would find a way to not share it with you because my integrity is worth more. I believe in Algo. I've been using it for many years, and I've watched its track record. And it is very, very good. And so if you've not signed up, I do believe that you're missing out. I really do. Sean, the guy that founded Algo, is a YouTuber now. I was the one that encouraged him to become a YouTuber. I'm not taking credit for his channel's growth or anything. He's done exceptionally well on his own, but I remember having a conversation with him like, you need to be a celebrity CEO. You need to get yourself out there and let the public know who you are. You're a cool guy. Let the public know who you are. Now his channel's got 500,000 subscribers. He's a cool guy. I believe he's a good fellow from everything I know. I'm probably not his best friend, but I know him pretty well. And I think he's a good guy. And I believe that I believe he's got the same mentality that I do, that look, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, but we're going to try our best, and we're going to do the very best that we can to bring people good content and good quality. And that's what he's put into Algo, and Algo is incredibly successful for that. I honestly believe that Algo is probably the biggest name in technical analysis right now, which is crazy, because technical analysis is a huge industry. So if you haven't already jumped on, make sure to, I guess I am kind of using the whole bandwagon fallacy. It's not a fallacy, though. It's just true. Jump on the bandwagon. It's a great technical indicator. Bandwagon isn't always a fallacy. Sometimes everybody's using something because it's a good idea. Everybody has a refrigerator, right? It's a smart idea. There's a reason that Lux Algo's got, God, I don't know how many tens of thousands of people using it. So make sure to check it out. Links in the description box down below. You Demand said, we all support you, Jeb. I listen often and noticed as well your struggles. Appreciate you fighting through to put on a show. I am trying. And guys, look, there's also there's a lot of other things that I've been trying to work through that I don't talk about on the channel, just because it's not something that should be public. But we're working through a lot of things, and I really think there's a lot of progress going on in every area of our life, and I'm very excited. Very excited for it. Very excited for the journey we're on. I'm so excited to be able to lead this community, and I do pray to God that I'll be able to lead it well. With that said, though, we're going to go ahead and wrap it out. Going to go ahead and work on today's afternoon video and today's short, because I'm really loving the schedule. It's doing well for the channel. You guys are liking it. So I'm going to go, but before I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.